Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Michelle Saeed, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're thrilled to have Tiffany Moore, the founder of A More Sales Education, joining us. Based in LA, Tiffany brings extensive experience from her roles at various organizations and now empowers different types of professionals to skyrocket their sales through her AMSE framework and lead gen system. We'll explore her founding story, really how Amore Sales Education is transforming sales training, and her vision for scaling her impactful business. So let's dive in. Tiffany, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you for having me today. I'm very excited to be here.
Absolutely. We're equally as thrilled to have you on the show today. So let's kick things off for the listeners. Take us back to the beginning. What specific problem within the sales training landscape, perhaps around over reliance on referrals or inefficiency in lead gen, inspired you to actually launch a more sales education?
To be honest with you, my sales career started at the beach tanning salon, learned I had sales experience and talent, and I moved it to insurance.
Okay.
And as I moved through insurance, I saw that there was literal no sales training. Working with different types of professionals, I do specialize with insurance and financial professionals,
Yeah.
and seeing that they got no training. It's here's what you're supposed to do, and I almost thrown to the sharks and told to survive.
Yeah.
And some don't. And what I like to do is come in, fill in that hole, and not only help them with a virtual lead generation system, but also help them with their unique workflows to help them be more organized and more efficient. And I
Mm.
also help them with their mental health so that they can be at their top tier while performing their sales duties.
100%. Love that. Now, from what it sounds like, you really have leveraged a lot of your personal background and experiences into creating a lot of these frameworks now for your own business. I'm excited to dive into the nuts and bolts of the offerings here. Would love for you to walk us through really how Amor Sales Education is really generating revenue. What exactly is that core offer? I know there's sales coaching, there's an online course program, there's the framework. Walk us through how you structure what you do for your clients and really the deliverables on that end.
Absolutely. And I have it on my website too. That way it's very clear. What we first do is we really niche down because you need to find a target. And we're
Mm,
leveraging LinkedIn. So I give them software to
mm,
leverage Sales Navigator and LinkedIn to be able to send out prospecting that is allowed by LinkedIn
mm,
while they're working and doing other things so that they can be scheduling meetings. So it's
mm.
a 2-for-1. Then if
Yeah.
they're having trouble closing or anything like that, we go over their scripts. We script spar together. We do easy clients, harder clients. That way, when the time comes, they know how to rebuttal. Like the
Mm,
word script, I don't like that, but
yeah.
I give them a base script so that if
Mhm,
they're having a bad day, which everybody has, they can
mm,
refer back to that, but still make the sale with the high energy that I teach them because energy sells. That's another thing that I have seen a big hole in when it comes to sales is
mm,
that people want to sell you and they want to come up and talk to you like this and hey, here's what your premium would be and I think we can help you out. And I teach people how to have an ethical energy, whether it be a masculine or a female energetic, to
mm.
show people that you're passionate about what you do. And then what I do is I help them set up that system or I actually set that up for them. I lay out marketing that actually follows what they already have, but in a different and better format on LinkedIn, making them a market authority to show people the transformation that they provide.
Yeah.
Then in the messaging, I set it up differently from your normal salesy, crappy messages that you get on LinkedIn to a more personalized message for them that
Mm,
really strikes with that person. And then,
mm,
of course, I teach them the core things that go into a message, like what it is that you do, so you're not confusing them, and a
yeah.
call to action.
Mm,
And I also teach them that LinkedIn might not be the only way to get meetings. I get them into the correct workflows of connect on LinkedIn, email, warm call. And
mm,
people think warm calling is gone. It's not. What you
mm,
need to do is develop a consistent, warm network that you can reach out to and say, hey, we connected on LinkedIn some
mm,
time ago. I know I've sent you a few emails and I've seen that you've opened that. I would
mm.
love to have a discussion if you have the time. What I catch you in the middle of?
Yeah.
And or a lot of times you can have their LinkedIn open. Hey, I see that you are in Seattle. I've been to Seattle. I'm so jealous. Have you seen any good whale pods lately? So you
Yeah.
open it up, you build rapport, and I teach them how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then after their launch, which happens in their first month with me, the
Mm,
rest of the year that they spend with me is spent on learning how to make this work long term. And they also have a contract with me so that they feel safe
mm,
that I'm going to deliver this coaching, this training, and
mm,
they are going to keep up with the investment, so to speak.
mm.
And that way everybody feels safe.
Yeah,
And all of my clients, you can go to alignable.com where a lot of them leave success stories, and they've
yeah.
done it on their own without me even asking them to. I already have referrals coming in, and I think that my biggest thing that I'm proud of is I actually started this business with no loans.
Wow, that's incredible. Look at you. I love it. Female entrepreneur. You said something about masculine and ethical, masculine and feminine energy. And I totally just clicked on that because I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like the same way, especially like female sales professionals, right? Like, how can we actually start to use what we use best, have that softened framework to have conversations and really connect, right? Rather than trying to reinvent things out of the box. So, sounds like everything what you do is like super customized and it's really tailored based off of who you're working with. Now, in terms of really the fulfillment model, right? As you just started the company, now you're looking to grow and build. How are you thinking about productizing your offer in a manner so that you can focus on founder level work? Like, what's your approach there to like scaling? What does that vision look like?
That's already in place. Just keep prospecting, bringing on clients, and as I grow, bring on a few more client success managers that align with me. But basically, get them going. And then what I want to do is during my growth, actually want to be able to help single mothers
Mm,
be successful like I am in an environment that can help. And
mm,
eventually, I would like to get some sort of a place where women can come work, have their kids if they don't have a place to live,
yeah,
work, make a paycheck, and really make a difference in the world where they're struggling to do it in other ways. So not
yeah,
only do I want to help my clients succeed, which they're all getting success, but
mm,
I want to help my future employees help them to succeed as well and be
mm,
single moms or work from home moms that sometimes it's not available to them. I
yeah,
also want to get into high schools to speak to juniors and seniors about, all right, a sales career is one of the most adaptive careers that you can have and
yeah,
has the most opportunity to be
mm,
able to earn as much wealth and
mm,
amass it that you want. You just
right.
need to learn the skills and learn what you're passionate about to sell.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
want to get in and talk to these guys and say, do you want a lot of college debt? And plus, that's all up in the air right now, too. Or do you
yeah.
want a solid career that you can go into that doesn't take you into massive amounts of debt that you just go into?
Yeah, 100%. Now, from what it sounds like, you're really looking at how do I expand this from a fulfillment perspective, bringing in more CSMs to help in that sense. Are you looking as well at maybe creating more of a standardized playbook so that you're not involved necessarily in a lot of like that coaching, a lot of that tailoring, like having a platform, more of like
No.
a format in place?
Not really, because the coaching, especially the one-on-ones that I do, we cover what their sales struggles were that week. What
Yeah.
are they struggling on responding and answering? Are they loading up new lead lists? So honestly, what I do couldn't be scaled to a model like that. And
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that because I'm passionate. I want to keep up with my clients because in my opinion, when you
Mm,
do, that's when programs start to not gain the results that you're aiming for that client because then you don't know what's going on. And one thing about it is the clients aren't going to reach out and tell you. They're
mm,
just going to take it and then say, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. Because
mm,
I witnessed that in the other contract work that I did. So
mm.
that is definitely something that I fixed in my program.
Got it. No, so from what it sounds like, continuing with the coaching model, like creating maybe even like a cohort way, right, to get everyone together and really focus in on how can we actually start to like still create more of that effectiveness, right, so that the quality doesn't dampen. Now,
Exactly.
building on your growth, how are you currently acquiring some of the clients that you work with? What are some of those channels, whether it's LinkedIn, organic marketing, paid ads? Like, what's been working well for you on the lead gen side to get some of the clients for coaching right now?
I have built my business the same way that I teach my clients to prospect. That way I can prove my own success story. So between LinkedIn and Alignable, which I do help them with Alignable as well, alignable.com, which I think every professional should go check out because it's networking, or you could possibly gain sales from it depending on what you do. But that is one place that I envision growing very well because there's networking events, stuff like that. But
Mm,
really and truly, I stick to what I teach. I have
mm,
used no outside method. I do not buy any leads. To me, that's horrible, especially for the people that I work with.
mm,
And that's just not something that I teach. I teach, here's what I do. It's working for me, and I know it can work for you. So,
mm,
like right now, while I'm talking to you, I'm prospecting in the background on LinkedIn.
mm,
And that's what I help other people set up. That way, when they're on a sales meeting, they're not missing out on that opportunity to prospect. I also get them into healthy workflows, which is something I found none of them really have. Like they're
yeah,
not warm calling, they're not emailing, they're not following up. So I'm teaching them Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are your best prospecting days to follow
100%.
up with leads that ghosted you, with leads that need follow up that said maybe that's for a Monday and a Friday because you've already made that connection. So
Mm,
your warm calls, you haven't necessarily touched base with them by phone, that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday because it's
yeah,
the middle of the week. They don't
mm,
mind at that point, but Monday or Friday, you tend to have less of a chance to get that meeting. So
yeah,
I usually tell my clients, let LinkedIn schedule those for you. You link in LinkedIn, let
yeah,
those kind of work for you, schedule from there, and
yeah,
then prospect your butt off. And I usually tell them to get a list and
mm,
email them and then call them because
mm,
it's much better. Hey, I emailed you. Did you happen to get that?
yeah,
And for the
yeah,
ones that have client management systems that can see whether the email has been opened or not, I
mm,
point that out to them too. I see that you opened it or I see that you haven't. Did that possibly go to your spam? That way
mm,
they can tell that you're connecting. And again, you're building rapport and showing that there's follow up.
mm,
So follow up is very important. And again, I'm going to go back to the energy. That is one thing that everybody has told me that they're the most excited to learn about is that upping their energy will up their confidence and up their sales rates.
yeah, for sure. Now, you mentioned a little bit on LinkedIn. You're doing a lot of prospecting on there, and it is almost like a manual approach, right, when it comes to generating leads. What are some of those ways you're thinking about scalability in your marketing approach? Are you exploring anything on the paid ad side of things, for instance?
I won't do paid ads. Ulink is an automated system that
Yeah,
we make the messaging, but
mm,
they're automatically sent out.
got it.
So I don't really need anything but that. And I also teach my community how to really leverage LinkedIn, and it's not just by pumping out content. And when people come into my program, I teach them that, but
Mm,
there's much more to becoming a market authority on LinkedIn
yeah,
than just posting and pumping out that content. So that's another thing that I teach them. That way they do get the attention that they deserve. Look at
mm,
how you guys spotted my profile
yeah,
out of millions of others that have started a founder's journey.
yeah,
So I definitely think that what I am doing helps
mm,
their profiles stand out and it helps them become a market authority. And let's face it, post COVID and plus your Gen Xers and millennials pretty much are who you're selling to now. We all want it virtual. So our sales landscape has changed and my
mm,
clients are 10 steps ahead
mm,
compared to the other ones who are going, oh, I'm still trying to do the organic and go out in person. That works too. I'm not saying to use only one basket, but definitely virtual prospecting is definitely more on the upper end now
right.
rather than going out and trying to pound the pavement, so to speak, like we used to. It's
Yeah,
much different and people expect to be sold virtually. And I also
yeah,
explain to them, like if you like your link that you send out people. I
yeah,
teach people to, if they want to send a Loom video, send that in LinkedIn because it's going to pop up as a Loom video. If you send that in an
yeah,
email, it's just a link. And with today,
yeah,
all the scammers, people aren't going to click on that link. So if you want to send a video sales letter, send it by LinkedIn, not by email.
yeah,
So
yeah,
just
yeah,
tidbits like
100%.
that to make them be successful. And that's honestly
Yeah,
my growth strategy is just showing people that this works, bringing people in. And
mm,
honestly, I'm actually almost at capacity. I have about 4 to 5 more slots left before I need to bring people on.
Mm,
And right now, I'm just loving my work
mm,
and very passionate about getting professionals the success that they deserve. Granted, I can work with any type of sales professional, like I am a life coach right now. I'm
yeah.
helping her even create her own course.
Mm,
But most of mine are insurance and financial professionals. Now, the reason that they reach out to me is my
mm,
insurance background. I
yeah.
understand compliance and that there's things that they can and can't say. I
Yeah.
don't get very many people or
Mm.
programs like mine that understand that. So that's the draw to me for those types of professionals is my understanding of that.
Got it. No, so from what it sounds like, you've pretty much automated a lot of what you're doing on the outreach side. You're using Ulink, and then also in terms of like capacity, you're scaling, you're finding other ways on the fulfillment side. How can I maybe even bring in more? And you're wearing all the hats from what it sounds like. Would love to learn a little bit about your growth. It's been incredible. If there was like a bottleneck or a challenge that stood out, what would it be right now? Is it even attracting like the right types of clients and leads to work with, increasing maybe some of those conversions? If someone does come in through LinkedIn, you do find them online. What are you most focused on solving to keep all the momentum going as you focus more on scaling and creating a runway for 2025?
My focus on growing and scaling is within my discovery and strategy calls and listening to what each individual's obstacles are and
Mm,
conquering those for them within our coaching sessions. Like I said, each client is unique, and my
mm,
growth strategy is just to ensure that I get my clients the success that they deserve. I don't miss a meeting, I am available to them, and they have
mm,
multiple touch points with me per week. Plus, they have 2 group sessions and the
mm.
course. So there's multiple points that they can go to always have direction. And that's another way that they feel comfortable, which is another growth strategy. And honestly, it is just bringing on more clients and getting them success. That is my growth strategy because
Yeah.
that is a true sales approach to growth. I
Mm,
don't do paid ads because a lot of people, I'm a YouTuber, a TikToker. How many times do those come on and I go, skip?
yeah.
It's not worth my time.
Mm,
Why would I not do that myself? By
yeah.
doing things like what you and I are doing today,
Mm,
getting on and doing a podcast and working on creating a YouTube channel to get more awareness to the fact that there is a gap in sales training.
yeah.
And also having other people refer over to me from alignable.com. I really suggest you guys check that out. There are a
Mm,
ton of brand new business owners and some very good business owners that are very well and already underway. But it's a great place for business owners to find referrals or possible sales at if your niche is within there. It's
yeah.
a wonderful place. It is a newer platform, but it's very similar to LinkedIn,
Mm,
only a little bit better.
yeah.
Just with in terms of referrals, because
Mm,
they can say, okay, refer this person too,
mm, mm,
and then you have a referral. So it
mm,
is definitely great there. LinkedIn can really show what your company does. Like
mm,
you saw on my LinkedIn page, it really shows the transformation that I provide, like taking out the issues from COVID that people don't want you in the building,
yeah.
because of sickness, things like that. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of my clients sell to doctors, things like that. And you've got to understand right now in today's day and age, there's a certain way to sell to everybody and that you need to be aware of what's going on with your niche. That
Yeah.
way you can hit nerve striking problems for them.
Mm,
And
yeah.
that right there is my growth strategy.
Love that. Yeah, no, from what it sounds like, you're leveraging a lot of different tools, a lot of different strategies to like really create a lot of that growth. If you had to identify one thing that would make like the biggest impact on the growth of really your business, like what would it be? Really streamlining the sales process as you're having those conversations with potential clients, creating more predictability on the lead gen side. Like, what are you most focused on solving in that sense so that you can start to scale and unlock that next level of growth within your business?
Absolutely. I would say me, to be honest with you, getting on and warm calling and doing that. And no sales professional likes to do it. And
Yeah.
just improving that and getting on the phone. And I am just as guilty as any other sales professional. Sometimes I skip a day. I can always improve myself. And as I grow, bring on remote closers so that they also have an opportunity to get another contract,
Mm,
and that way I can focus on my clients and my other client success managers so
mm.
that they can't, all of my clients, even if it's not me, will have somebody like me to help them be able to get the success that they deserve.
Love that. Yeah, really thinking about expanding that sales team, bringing on even someone maybe to have assistance with a setting and like really appointment setting and like outreach and really qualifying so that you can focus on the fulfillment, the founder level things, and not have to worry about having to manually do a lot of what you're doing on your own, wearing some of those hats. Now, with everything you've accomplished so far, what's like your vision for growth into 2025? Do you have any like revenue targets, performance milestones that you're aiming to hit? Paint that picture for us tuning in.
Like I said, the only thing, my goal is to bring on 4 to 5 more
Mm,
and just keep going. And as I grow, then grow my sales team. So
mm,
my goal, and I know that I'll fulfill it within months, but I want to bring on those few more. But that's really my goal for the rest of 2025 is bringing on those 4 clients.
love that. Now, in terms of hiring, it's always like a topic that comes up sometimes, right, on the podcast, is it can be a big constraint, especially for
Not with my system, it's not. I will hunt for them on LinkedIn with a connector campaign on my automation tool
yeah,
for open to work. And I'll look for sales experience. And again, you utilize Sales Navigator to put your filters on. So I'll
yeah,
look for open to work sales professionals that are out of work
yeah,
and talk to them about, hey, do you want to work from home opportunity? Or find
yeah,
a remote closer that's really good. There's some really good ones that show it on TikTok.
yeah,
Get in touch with some of them when I'm ready, that kind of thing. I've had many virtual assisting companies approach me and I'm like, no, thank you.
yeah,
With what I do, it's too personable to have
yeah,
somebody doing that for me. No, thank you.
yeah.
But I definitely see needing to grow my team in the future as well as this is doing.
Yeah, 100%. Now, a couple last questions as we head into the lightning round. What would you say, like with the sales training industry evolving in the coming years, your focus on lead gen and like AMSC framework, how is a more sales education positioning itself for that type of future?
Just letting people know that I'm not the type of program that promises the world and delivers nothing, and that you can go to alignable.com where people have chosen, and I have not asked them to leave client success stories and what it's been like. They just started doing it.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of people that I want within my program
Mm,
because they know that it works. They work hard, they're going to dig in. The only person who wouldn't succeed with my system is somebody who goes, "Oh, I'll answer it in a few days," and just doesn't follow the workflows. That's the
mm.
only way you're not going to be successful in my program.
Got it. Now, one last question. Any best piece of advice you would give to anyone really looking to scale and start a sales training business, perhaps from your experience at Lux Sales Consulting or elsewhere? What would you say to some of the listeners tuning in that are looking to found and get into the entrepreneurial journey?
What I would say to especially a lot of the younger crowd is the virtual market is expanding.
Mm,
And I would say that find what you're passionate about
mm,
and create a course around it. And if you're having issues with that, find the guidance. And
yeah.
I can be that guide if somebody needs that, but find what you're passionate about,
Mm,
create an actual program and
yeah.
also some coaching sessions. And then if for some people can just buy the program and some people can buy the program and coaching. I
Yeah.
want to be able to help guide other people as they come to me
Yeah.
and how to do that. But honestly, I would say push through the fear.
Mm,
Because there are a few times that, yeah, I was scared when I first started. This is scary. This is a lot. Trying to start a business, no loans, no income coming in. This is scary. But
yeah.
what I did is I just put on my big girl boots because I am a country bumpkin, put on
Yeah.
my big girl boots and cowgirled up and got on the phone and I got people in, showed them the value of what I can do, said,
Yeah.
look, I'm building my own business this way.
Yeah.
And a lot of people saw the value. They saw my LinkedIn and signed up. And the
Mm,
other thing would be pricing. Really
yeah.
make sure that you're scaling your business to where you have recurring revenue. That
Mm,
was my biggest mistake in the beginning of my business was doing
yeah.
just one flat fee. So what I've started doing is monthly payments.
Yeah.
I've had people approach me with, would you do revenue sharing? No,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely not. I'm teaching you, but that's not saying that you are actually going to pick up on those
Mhm.
skills and use them. Or
Mm,
you might just not use them. So I might not get anything out of that with all of the work that I do.
yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that. I
Mm,
do all of their marketing. So the biggest thing that I would say in closing is push through your fear and also make it a passion because
mm,
once you love to do it, there is no stopping you. But
yeah.
if you feel that press of, oh my God, get a part time job, get
Yeah.
something virtual to fill in the gap,
Yeah.
and then build. And if you're going to need a system to prospect, because it really is a
Mhm.
different landscape for sales. So
Yeah.
find something that you can do that on without paid ads, things like that. There are ways to build without that.
Yeah, 100%, especially as like you're dealing with a very demographic market and it's not psychographic, right? Something that is very like varied in terms of that call to action, like utilizing a lot of that cold outbound strategy, right? To really reach your audience and create a lot of that problem and solution awareness. Yeah, no, very well said. On that note, that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Tiffany, thank you so much for joining us and really sharing your insights and the impactful work you're doing across the sales and lead gen development landscape. So we're excited to see the way you empower not just some of the financial and insurance businesses that you primarily work with, but also single moms out there that are struggling and they're looking for those opportunities. I'm excited to follow that journey and see really how you set yourself up for this year. To our listeners, if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also find some more resources and insights at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class sales systems. Until then, everyone, keep climbing, and we'll see you all on the next one.